You're about to hear the incredible story of a simple man who did the impossible and won the hearts of millions of Australians. Impossible is possible. At 61, ordinary Aussie farmer Cliff Young made the surprising decision to enter the super marathon from Melbourne to Sydney. People thought he was crazy, and many feared he wouldn't make it to the finish line. This race covers 875 grueling kilometers, running from Sydney to Melbourne, and usually takes over 5 exhausting days. It's a challenge dominated by world-class athletes who train rigorously and arrive with top-notch gear and support teams. No one expected a 61-year-old farmer, dressed in work overalls and boots, to even attempt this punishing journey, let alone succeed. Most of these athletes are under 30, backed by big sports brands with all their gear and high-tech shoes. They train hard for this event, all hoping to win. But in 1983, everyone was shocked when a 61-year-old man showed up at the start line, calm and ready to race against the younger competitors. At 61 years old, Cliff Young surprised everyone at the start of the super marathon. He showed up wearing old work overalls and galoshes over his boots, looking more like a farmer than a serious athlete. At first, the crowd thought he was just there to watch, not run. But when he walked confidently to the table to collect his race number, it became clear he was ready to compete. Given number 64, he lined up with the younger, professionally dressed athletes. The camera crew, intrigued by this unusual participant, quickly approached him for a brief interview to find out more about his unexpected challenge. Hi, who are you and what are you doing here? I'm Cliff Young. We run sheep on the big paddock near Melbourne. Are you really running this race? Yes. Do you have a sponsor? No. Then you won't make it, right? No, I will. I grew up on a farm where we couldn't afford horses or cars until just recently. I only bought a car 4 years ago. When storms came, I'd herd the sheep. We had 2,000 grazing on 2,000 acres. Sometimes I'd chase them for 2 or 3 days. It wasn't easy, but I always caught them. So I figure I can handle the race. It's only 2 days longer, just 5 days, while I used to run after sheep for 3 days straight. Sometimes I'd chase those sheep for 2 to 3 days straight without rest. It was really tough physically and mentally, but I always caught every single one, so when I think about the race, I figure I can handle it. It's only 2 days longer than usual, just 5 days total. And after all, I'm used to running after sheep for 3 days straight in tough conditions. When the marathon started, the professionals immediately left Cliff far behind in his galoshes. Some spectators felt sorry for him, while others laughed because he couldn't even start properly. On TV, people watched Cliff with mixed feelings, some amazed, some doubtful, but he was determined to prove them wrong. Many spectators were genuinely worried and even prayed that he wouldn't die along the way. Every professional runner knew it would take about 5 days to finish. They planned to run 18 hours a day and sleep for 6 hours every night to keep going. But Cliff Young, with no experience in marathons, didn't know any of this. Remarkably, the morning after the race started, people discovered that Cliff hadn't slept at all during the night. He had run straight through and had already reached the town of Mittagong. Even though Cliff ran continuously without stopping to rest, he was still far behind all the professional runners who paced themselves carefully. Though he kept running steadily without pause, he still managed to warmly greet many people lined up along the race route. With each passing night, he steadily closed in on the race leaders, and on the very final night, Cliff impressively passed all the world-class athletes. On the morning of the last day, he was far ahead of everyone else. Not only did Cliff Young run the super marathon at the age of 61 without dropping out, but he actually won the entire race. What's even more incredible is he smashed the previous race record by a stunning 9 hours and instantly became a national hero. Cliff completed the grueling 875-kilometer race in just 5 days, 15 hours and 4 minutes, an unbelievable feat. Surprisingly, despite his victory, Cliff didn't keep a single prize for himself when he received the 10,000 Australian dollars for first place. He said he didn't even know there was a prize. He ran only for the challenge. Without hesitation, he gifted the entire prize money, splitting it among the next 5 runners. Cliff kept nothing, and Australia fell in love with his generosity. Experienced athletes had strategies, knowing when to run or rest, believing a 61-year-old couldn't win a super marathon. But Cliff was unaware of these doubts and rules. His mind was free from limits, and he just ran, chasing a runaway sheep, proving that often the only limits we face are the ones we accept. He didn't know athletes were supposed to rest or sleep during races. His mind was clear of doubts others had. He just wanted to win, imagining chasing a fleeing sheep with fierce determination. People like Cliff Young break stereotypes, showing us our limits are often self-imposed. Thanks to such individuals, the impossible becomes possible, a truth even Albert Einstein recognized.